Okay, so here we are in the Malden 832 gathering. And who have we got?
My name is Deb.
Now, Deb, let's start and just get out the way. You've got an amazing story because you've got a reason not to trust Big Pharma and the health and the department and the government. And why is that?
Because I have been injured by pharmaceutical products.
In what way?
My mother took thalidomide when she was pregnant under a different name, Contagen, I don't know how you say it, Contagen, which was a name that they produced or they sold. That was the marketing name for thalidomide.
And by then, because thalidomide was out, I think, for 20 years before they banned it. So
Yes.
they would have already known that it was
Yes.
injuring people, but they just didn't care.
No, so I've talked to Dr. Rob Peterson about this from AMPS, and my understanding is the company, it's a German company, and they stopped manufacturing about early 60s, 1961 or something, and they ceremoniously burnt the factory to show people that, oh my goodness, look what we've done. But in Australia, if there was a medical centre or a pharmacy that still had the product on their shelves, they were using up until the 70s. So Australia has a bit of a history of just not paying attention. So
You feel like someone needs to shout, "What the fuck," from the distance. You know, like, are you kidding me?
No, I know.
What is it about our country?
I don't know, and it's historical. Like we do this.
But people will ask, well, where's your thalidomide? Can we see?
Yes, I only have one arm. Well, I do have two hands.
I'm just getting this here. Yep, let's get it
It's a
close.
bit cold, sorry, I have my coat on. I do have two hands because I have 5 fingers here. They have nails on them and they have little phalanges in them even.
Can they move?
Oh no, only the muscle.
So sorry, I didn't have the microphone. So they are actually your fingers there
They're
at the
my
end.
fingers, yes. I don't have the forearm bones, the radius and ulnar, but I do have the bulbs in the joint of the humerus, but they didn't grow. So this is just a muscle mass. And then just this would have obviously become the hand.
Wow. So the Australian knew that, the health department knew it was bad, and they were still allowing pharmacists to sell it.
Absolutely. So in my situation, it's a late 60s. My mother was pregnant and unmarried. So my father's mother, so her future mother-in-law, went to her GP, who gave her the drugs just under the counter, basically, under the desk. It wasn't prescribed. He just gave her a packet and said, "Here, this will stop her being because she was violently ill." So they just handed it to her, which has stopped her vomiting before they decided what they were going to do, whether they were going to get married, etc. They just didn't want the shame of people knowing that she was pregnant.
When you were born, did they know it was thalidomide? Did they, what happened?
Well, the doctor who gave the drugs is the doctor that was present at my birth. So at that time too, there was some big family meetings because they had to decide. The theory they were using was, well, she's physically disabled, she'll be mentally disabled too, so we better put her in an institution. So they had to decide whether they were going to take me home and be part of the family, and that was being guided by the same doctor who gave the medication.
And what did they decide?
I had an uncle and his wife who pushed very hard for me to stay in the family, and they were very supportive of me through my time, so I did stay within the family. I was very lucky through my childhood. Sorry, I'm a bit cold, I'm shivering now.
Wrap up.
A friend of my mother's who was he knew about this. He supported me. He even, right up until he paid for me to go to uni. So,
Wow.
Yeah. It's not spoken about in my family. I don't actually speak about this. The first time I'm telling this to someone that...
It's incredible. You haven't spoken about it in the family.
Nothing. My mother said that she didn't take thalidomide because it was called this Contagen or whatever the name is.
So they wouldn't have told her it was thalidomide.
Well,
They would have just said, take this.
and then in the end, she was quite in denial about it. She said, "Oh, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have done it. If I'd known that that was the case, I wouldn't have done that. So it must be wrong. This contagion must not." Because she was happy to say that's what she took. That was the name of it. But we didn't have the internet then to check it out, so she just believed.
Trusted a doctor.
Trusted the doctor. Yeah.
The doctor that wanted you put in an
They put me
institution.
in the institution because I would have some sort of intellectual disability also.
How long before they realised you didn't have an intellectual disability?
Maybe when I became a teenager. Yes, so it was very sad because it brought great shame to them.
Yeah.
They were always shamed that, of who I was, etc. So it was, and I think that's why it was never really spoken about, because it was too shameful for them to admit that maybe she made a mistake. And then, of course, she's passed away a long time ago, so there was never any further discussions. I remember once, and I must have been working because I was catching a train, and I found a magazine on a seat the bench I was sitting at the train station, and it had a big article about it. And I was so shocked that I actually set the magazine on fire and stuck it in the rubbish bin on the platform of the train station.
Really? Why'd you do that?
It just shocked me reading about all this information. I don't know specifically what it was about, but it was describing that how Australia kept selling or giving away this product to people, and
Even though they knew.
And so since then, because they've had the Royal Commission, so that's information that was out. I don't know if that's the right term for a Royal Commission, but they had a big case to look into it for people who were trying to fight for compensation. And these figures, there's obviously a lot more, but yeah. So that's my little story.
Do you have anger from it, or have you resolved it, or is it unresolved within your soul?
I think there's a resolution in that I had to come to accept the situation because nobody wanted to talk about it. I was estranged really from my family. There was a lot of angst and as I said, shame around it. So it was either suck it up and forge forward or become a victim. And not that I know when I made a conscious decision about that, but I did at some point. Went, oh well, this is who I am, so let's just make a life and get going.
And what life did you make? Did you get a career in anything?
I went to uni to become a teacher, which is interesting because the assistant dean at the time of graduation pulled me aside and said that, because there was at the time Jeff Kennett was the Premier and they were cutting schools and there were so many teachers, and she said, they're not going to employ someone like you. You best go and try and find something else.
Someone like you, meaning? Oh my God.
So
She emphasised you, not going to employ someone like you.
well, basically, because she called me only aside, no one else. So I never actually taught in a school after that, but I certainly have been in adult education, etc. Through that time. But, I have a wonderful husband. I have two gorgeous girls. I used to do dressage, so I was in a para-equestrian team.
Oh yeah, I've met others like that. Yeah, there's a young guy in near Coffs Harbour.
Yes.
What's his name? Oh my God, he'd kill me for not remembering his name.
Yeah, me too.
But he does it. Dale, he's
Dale.
great at it.
Dale.
Yeah. Now, can I ask? So you've been through that. You made peace with that, and then suddenly COVID comes, and you've decided. Basically, what was your decision when you heard that they're going to vaccinate?
I've never trusted pharmaceutical.
Wonder why?
Yes, so I haven't trusted doctors. So when COVID came, it was like, well, here we go again.
Yeah.
This is something
We
similar.
were mentioning thalidomide at the time, and everyone's ignoring it.
Yeah. So, and another thing that that also triggered my decision is having been a horse person up in northern New South Wales. We had just gone through the Hendra situation, and Zyotis is the animal arm of Pfizer. And it was the exact same thing. The horses, to protect them against Hendra, had to have 2 shots. Then they had to have boosters. And the horses, lots of horses had vaccine injuries, but no, and we had to be isolated, and you couldn't go to things. And it was, we were like, oh my gosh, this is Hendra all over, but in human form. And and having had the history, it.
How did you, when you decided not to have it, how did your world, who already leperized you once, treat you this time?
About the same. I think the sad thing for them is because, so my mum had passed away by then, and my dad's not the brightest tool, and my sisters, they've just have pretty well ignored, not ignored me, but ignored my situation. So when I'm trying to warn them, no, you're just making it up. And I'm like, I'm a living example of what can go wrong, but it didn't register in their heads at all.
So they have a desperate need to believe that out there the government just sits there going, what can we do for you? How can we care for these people?
The government is there to look after us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking after. They have a deep, almost spiritual belief that the government is there in their corner.
And I do think also that they've probably struggled themselves being related to the disabled girl in school, small schools, disabled girl. So they've also tried hard to always fit in and be one of everybody. And of course, when the whole COVID thing hit, they don't want to stand up on their own, and say, this is no good. They had to fit in.
Yeah.
So they went for it.
Nice. How are you feeling now? What's your thoughts on where we're heading?
In general?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, in my gut, I feel that we will make this. Like the change will happen, and the criminals will be seen. But I think it's not going to be until some really big things shake the average person, and that'll be about money and their house, and so maybe the banks, and when they start telling people they don't own their houses and stuff. I think it'll have to get to that big thing. On a day-to-day basis, most people are able to get through to one person here and there, but it's not, the swell isn't there yet. And I think the swell won't hit until, it's something that will impact on what the average person holds dear.
So screw their morality, it's their
I
wallet.
don't think we're
Once
a
you
very
hit their
moral
moral
country at all.
I hate to say it, you got the evidence of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much moral fibre.
So it's like we've grown up in a virtue signalling society. That's what I feel like we've done.
I think so, and I have a little theory that I think Australia was created on lies. When the supposed convict thing, and we've been conditioned and corralled into certain directions right from the start. And here we are proving that that's what we do, the average person.
San Francisco rain, sweet smelling agitation pulsing through my veins, pulsing through my veins. Playing my new 6-string on the porch, listening to the sounds of nature, opening up my pores, opening up my pores. Falling down on my the things that you crave? Can you shake the brainwash off? Stand up and be brave. Be a peaceful warrior, be brave. Yeah, be a peaceful warrior, be brave. My mouth is dry, my soul does yearn for the simple things in life. Time for me to learn. Oh, time for me to learn. Modern life is not the life for me. Food, warmth, good company. I sing songs under a tree. No, modern life is not for me. You need from life to live in this electronic world. What is it that you miss? What are the things that you crave? Can you shake the brainwash off? Stand up and be brave. Be a peaceful warrior, be brave. Yeah, be a peaceful warrior, be